it's hard for me to get to know people because I'm pretty closed up, and I don't like being around most people. They don't bring out the best in me.
My thing is, why are you looking for other people to bring out the best in you? When you live this lifestyle of living in a rural area, you understand that you can only bring the best out of you. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody else should have the ability to bring out the worst in you. You feel what I'm saying? That's how you know you have a lot more healing to do, and that this lifestyle is not conducive to your healing. It's not going to heal you because you live off grid. You feel what I'm saying? Let's keep watching.
In the town, in a city, even a small town, you can be really influenced by other people's positivity or negativity.
That's only if you allow it. You have to allow these people to influence you. Basically, they have a power over you that is much mightier or stronger than yours. You feel what I'm saying? You have to have the willpower to say no, yay or nay to these people. They shouldn't have the ability to make you do something or influence you to do something or suggest you do something that you, in other words, wouldn't want to do. You know what I'm saying?
And I really prefer to not be influenced by any others' emotions, negativity, or positivity. I try to do my own.
Dude, do you know animals can do that too? Don't you know that there are people that argue with dogs all the time? So it doesn't matter if a person is positive or negative. You're just easily influenced. You can't blame that on other people. That's a you problem.
Us humans, we could be like really, really good, or we could be really, really, really bad. I don't want my decisions affecting other people, you know? It's the whole fucking snowball thing down the fucking hill.
Your decisions are going to affect people whether you believe it or not. It can be directly or indirectly. Just because you're not around doesn't mean you still don't have an effect on other people. You know, you can because you decided to live this lifestyle, that affected people whether you know it or not. They are aware that you're in this position, and so they have a feeling or an emotion about it. You've affected them.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the little snowflake on the top. It's better for me to be away from people.
So if something happens to you, nobody's gonna know. If you all alone, nobody is gonna know if you need help. Let's say you can't call out, you know? Let's say you have no reception that day and you need somebody to help you, but you so stubborn or so stuck in your ways that I don't need help from anyone. I don't want to affect anyone or anything. You're still affecting something. The animals around you will know. You've affected reality without even, your very existence is going to affect people in reality. You know, there's going to be somebody that stumbles upon your body if you were to pass, and now they got to launch an investigation. You're affecting someone's job, someone's peace of mind. You're going to affect people regardless. Energy never died, it only transfers.
I moved here to get away from that same thing, mundane lifestyle that everyone hates. Most people hate anyways. I hated it.
And a lot of people will look at you as if you silly because you don't want to live that same depressing life that they do. Oh, this is out of the ordinary. They want to go and be off in the wilderness, all alone, by themselves, away from us. Who do they think they are? This is what their subconscious is saying to them, you know? And it's going to come across as, man, why you living out there? It's not going to be, they're never going to congratulate you for owning something and wanting to live a different lifestyle. They're going to be intrigued but they're never gonna open, and this is for the people that you know. They're never gonna openly say, oh man, I wish I could do that. They're never gonna say that. It's only gonna be questions about some shit that'll make you feel, it's just there so they can feel better about the decision that they made. Oh, so what are the struggles? They're gonna ask you negative shit. What are the struggles, and do you have this, and do you have that? They're never gonna say, how's your mental health since being out there? It's never gonna happen. Really think about that. It's never gonna be, did you find some type of peace? How's the electric bills? What's your life like? It's never gonna be anything like that. It's always gonna be, well, do you have a mailbox, and are you safe? And it's just gonna be some worrisome fear tactic, fear mongering, negative shit. That's all it's gonna be. Nothing to make you feel like, oh yeah, you know what? This is a really good decision. No, but let's keep watching.
Whole system at large is not to serve the people, but to control the people.
You ever notice how people take pride in where they come from, but they never go back to their original roots? You ever notice that? Oh yeah, before we all used to, back in, our ancestors, they used to have previous lives, and they would live in the jungle, and then they would live in the desert, and they would have all this type of stuff. It'd just be a different life, man. They would just have these stuffs and have festivals, and then all of a sudden they started getting rich, and they started living like royalty, Some of the, they advanced, they created a lot of things. And then you look at them same people, look at people that live off grid and be like, man, what's wrong with them? It's like, wait a minute. Didn't you just say your family started, this was their roots, these were their roots? Didn't you just say that? And then turned around and shamed them same people for going back to their roots? I'm not understanding, why you don't see the value in where you come from. Because little do you know, it humbles you. It makes you really realize what life is. It helps you in ways that, it builds your the traditional version of you that you're lacking. That's what it does. Who are you going to be in your natural habitat? It shows you that version of you, and people like to shun and, oh my God, they're living this lifestyle. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Let's keep watching though.
How you gonna know what the good things in life are? And how you gonna know how good they are if you don't go through some of the bad shit, some of the crap,
And that's definitely true, because you can't understand positivity without knowing what negativity is. It's like they both create a life. Positivity and negativity creates life, and batteries and so on and so forth. I always use this analogy because that's what life is. It's positive and negative. And so you can't really enjoy life if you don't understand it, right? So you have to receive positive and negative to have life, And so a lot of people think that you're supposed to be on an up and up and up and up and up at all times of life. And if you're on the up and up and up and up, eventually you have to crash to balance out life.
One of my therapists that I used to have, the best one that I ever had.
When you think about off-grid, this is what people usually picture in their mind. They believe that you laying on the ground, smoking tobacco, with no lights, no internet, no anything, right? And you just a madman. You feel what I'm saying? On some Georgia the Jungle type. And, for a lot of people, that is the case. Unfortunately, I'm not even gonna say unfortunately, because it's gotta be a reality for somebody, right? And so people choose to live like that. Some people choose to live in RVs. Some people choose to live in tiny homes. And you're going to come across a lot of these different people no matter where you are in a rural area. You're going to see somebody sleeping in the woods. This is just going to happen. You're going to see random people at random spots in random areas, you know? And this is just because they've chosen to live a life like this, right? Now, like I said, some people are living in a small area and they're living the good life. Some people, quote unquote, and what I mean by that is like they have everything on demand, such as running water and, you know, power and animals and food and a clear mind. And, you know, they have everything they need. And then there are those who are out there that have nothing, no water, no food, no lights, nothing. You know, so it's a choice. Some people can do without and some people need more.
These characters that are here now, you know, Tom and Tom down here, they pay the rent on time and stuff. Ron and Gail, Hell's Bells, they haven't paid rent in a couple of years there for a while. But it's hard to give people the boot when they're down and out, you know.
And that's the thing. You know, you have that flexibility when you live in rural areas. If the person that's renting to you would allow that. When you in a city, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You getting kicked out, the police coming and knock the door open, dog. Like they coming in and knocking your shit open. You feel what I'm saying? Throwing your clothes right out on the ground. It's no saving you. You feel me? And it's like you don't develop a real relationship or bond with the person that's renting to you because they're just there for business. You know, it's nothing personal. It's just business. Now, when you're renting from somebody that live in a rural area, you're going to get to know this person because there's nobody else to know in the town. It's a rural area. And so you have to get acquainted. It's almost forced. You feel what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be alone. They don't want to be alone. You know, and this is not something that you come openly just, you know, I'm lonely. No, it just gradually happens over time. Just because you don't have a social life by living in this specific area. And so, yes, these are going to have, like these, you know, situations will occur because you developed a relationship with the owner of the property.
And there's so many different characters from all over the place that kind of land here and end up in this place. It's interesting to see the open arms that you're welcomed with open arms, even though you're different, you know.
You're welcomed with open arms because you're different. You know, if you weren't different, you wouldn't have found yourself in that situation or that specific area. You feel me? It could be a positive or a negative situation. Regardless, it's a situation, right? Now, my thing is this. Like I say, it's not necessarily a bad thing, you know? You found yourself there because you wanted a different life. Now, whether that lifestyle was luxury in that specific area or just poverty in that specific area, it's on you, you know? So, it's like, it's what you make of it. That's all it is.
Most of the time I just sit out here like this and enjoy the day.
See, and people can't do that anymore. They need overstimulation to be on TikTok reels and everything else except the reel all day long. The little things never satisfy these people anymore, so they don't see the value in living off grid. This is all I'm saying. They can't connect to anything else but synthetic shit, the internet, what somebody else is saying, some gossip, you know? They can't think outside of the box. They are stuck in the box. The box is the TV, the cell phone, Everything that, the shoebox, they constantly buy the same shoes and worship shoes, and it's just they can't think outside of these things.
There was one time I didn't even go to town for 3 months. Yeah. When I did go to town, I was really overwhelming. Everything was kind of like, whoa.
And I want you to understand something. It's not because of substance abuse. It's that you've been in this environment so long that everything looks different.
There was
when
one
you go
time I
back
didn't
to
go to
it.
town for 3 months.
It's a whole new world.
When I did go to town, I
This
was
is
really
gonna happen when
overwhelming.
you live
Everything
in a
was kind of
rural
like,
area
whoa.
and don't go see other things after a while. It happens to everybody.
Too much for me, to my psyche to handle. Traffic lights, traffic, people. Whoa, this is too much. All those cans and bottle collectors at 5 in the morning, people, sirens, and just hustle, bustle everywhere. So out here, it's easier on the psyche. It's easier on your being to be away from all that.
Because it's an overstimulation in itself. You got plenty lights, it's like 16 different people passing you by in the car, per light playing 7 different songs. Now you got the traffic lights, then you got the sunlight, then you got the smell of there's a lot of things that people have become numb to since being in the city. They don't understand, and so it's harder for them to pick up on the simple things in life. It's harder for them to understand who is good and who is bad for them, because they're so overwhelmed with the phone and the sound from the van and the sound from the truck and the sound from the cars and the speakers and the club. It's a lot of shit that just you constantly distracted by, so you never really know who you are. You can't. Let's just keep watching.
There's just some bad influence, the meth heads and people doing heroin and stuff, stealing your mail.
So I want y'all to understand, when they put Trevor in that small area in the desert on GTA, they were not lying. A lot of the people you're going to come across that live in the areas like that, right, are usually substance abusers. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where it's like, you see it in the city. They be downtown or they be on a bus stop or middle of the street, So you see them all the time out there, and you see them all the time off grid too. So it's really no difference, in terms of the ratio. It seems a lot higher off grid, but that's because the community is definitely smaller.
He cheated on me, and so my trust is gone, and I've tried to work through it, but I just can't. I still love him.
And that's another thing. You're not gonna really have a romantic life in a rural area, and so you are who you're around. There is no tremendous amount of people coming through where you live at, so you gotta go travel if you want a romantic life, and then try to convince them that where you're living is a good area, and then see if they're comfortable even living there, And so it's a lot tougher on people that live this lifestyle when they trying to pursue a romantic relationship, It's just you really don't have the luxury of this is why a lot of people go and visit bigger cities, the ones that live off grid, because there aren't a lot of people.
I've heard things at night, though, in the mountains that terrified the fuck out of me. And I know the sounds of most critters.
And that's another thing. The more you surround yourself in that environment, the more the things that live in that environment like to reveal themselves to you, because they know the mental condition that you're in. You know what I'm saying? And so you are less likely to share this story that you've seen such things, because you gonna think that people are gonna think that you're crazy. You feel me? And the people that know how long you've been out there, they're going to assume that you're crazy as well. And so you can say that you've seen Bigfoot, and it don't matter who you say you've seen, they're not gonna believe you. And this Bigfoot knows they're not gonna believe you. And so this is why things of that nature start to reveal themselves to you. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, fam.
When I get angry about stuff and upset, I gotta go out and let it out, so to speak, blow my steam out. And I go out and I do that shit away from people. Because if people hear the shit that I say, they get really fucking offended, and some of them get kind of freaked out.
It's crazy that we live in a world where you can offend somebody by speaking your mind. So much so, you get to the point where you need to bite your own tongue and move into an area where you can be yourself. Isn't that fucked up?
He exemplified to me relying upon his own strength. No begging, no borrowing, no stealing, no credit. So he just helped me see a lot of freedom.
And this is the problem: most people won't admit that they need help. I need a credit system. I need a loan. I need somebody. They always say, I can do it alone, but they can't do it alone. Take them to the woods, take them to the desert, and see if they can do anything by themselves. They cannot function without some type of fucking system.
Damn. Got a lot of stuff to do all of a sudden when I start thinking about it. I thought I had an easy day. Dump the cat's litter box. Me and Dad were gonna have sandwiches for dinner. I like sandwiches for dinner once in a while.
And that's just what it is. Now you can take all of that stuff, and here's the difference. You can take all of that shit and drag it out, right? So you may have to change the bedding or something for your chickens or whatnot. You may need to, go refill the water and set out the solar panels and clean them off and do something in the yard. And you can do all of that within a couple of hours or a couple of days. When you're working, you don't have that luxury. You gotta work 8 to 10 hours without, you can't leave when the fuck you want to. You cannot get up and just, be you whenever you want to. And this is the fucking problem. You feel what I'm saying? This is why, we ain't gonna get into all that, but I just want y'all to know the freedom that you have off grid supersedes any type of freedom that you may think you have by working a, $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour job. You feel what I'm saying? Because you still have to get up and pay them goddamn bills. You gotta do that.